Welcome back. Indiana weather can be severe and can leave you in the dark. That's why this week's Indianapolis Moms segment is all about preparing for power outages. Andy Bookmeyer and her son Preston are here now. Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
So we are talking to you guys about this because you were without power for 5 days recently. I can't imagine.
Right before the 4th of July when it was super hot. And we could never have anticipated it would have been that long. Never in my life have I had a power outage last more than like 3 hours or 4 hours. So it was miserable.
Well, you guys got through it. You're on the other side, but you really learned a lot. What are some of the things that you learned?
Well, in my blog talked about like power outage 101. Like we figured we had everything we needed, but we really didn't. We had flashlights but no batteries. And in talking with our neighbors, we learned they had batteries but no flashlights. And we had candles but no matches. I mean, these are basic things that we didn't realize. So I wanted to accentuate in my blog, are you prepared if this happens to you? Because unfortunately we weren't.
After reading through your blog, I too not prepared. So there were some key things. Okay, we think about just even our cell phones, charging those. What's some advice there?
Well, I had luckily, without knowing this was going to happen, like 2 months before this outage, bought portable car chargers off of Amazon. And so that's how we were able to charge our phones. And I thought, otherwise, how would we have done that? We don't have family that live nearby. And a neighbor on day 3 let us borrow a Halo device where we could plug in our devices, but even then that died, so we couldn't charge that. So portable car chargers are, I think, a great recommendation.
And you guys, this was when it was really, really hot out, so it was getting hot inside your house. You really thought maybe we need to get out eventually. What did you decide to do?
So on day 3, when I was near tears, and Preston handled this the best out of all of us, by the way, we did go stay at a hotel, and so that was a nice refuge. And then on day 4, we went to see a movie, and I fell asleep during the whole movie because it was so, like, the air conditioning felt fantastic, and we had had such miserable sleep for days that, like, getting out and getting into those air-conditioned places was a nice refuge for us.
You also wrote to be intentional before the storms hit. What do you mean by that?
So I realized I have way too much food in my refrigerator and freezer. And then silly me had ordered an online grocery delivery order that couldn't be canceled at this point because we didn't know the power was going to be out that long. So what we tried to do is keep the refrigerator and freezer closed as often as possible. We brought out all of our Playmate and Igloo coolers. Preston helped. Our kitchen was like a war zone of coolers. And every day I was doing ice runs, and we tried to salvage as much food as we could. And we cooked out and made as much food as we could to save it. And it worked out. So if you're intentional and you want to put in, it's kind of a pain, but if you want to save your food, it's a good option.
Preston, what did you learn after all of this? How did you get through it?
I just tried to keep a straight face and just tried to enjoy air conditioning when I could get it, like at the movie and hotel.
Yeah, it makes you really value AC when you have it. Really quick before we go, you had one last piece of advice. What's that?
Well, I do think if you can afford a generator or consider looking into one, that's probably going to solve 99% of the problems that we experienced.
Wow, great advice. I'm thinking about all the things you just said, and I have not done any of it. I am not ready myself. So I really appreciate you guys being here this morning.
Thanks for having
your
us.
experience. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, I hope nobody else has to.
I hope not either. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, we'll send it over to you.
All right.